These next problems are a little bit trickier than the last ones. Now, first thing I need to do when I'm trying to solve for x here is I'm going to factor the denominators if possible. So I'm going to factor that first one. Get x minus 3, x plus 3. Okay, so we took care of that one. Now, again, I can list my values that I am not going to be allowed to have for x. So x cannot equal 3, and x cannot equal, so I'm looking here, x can't equal 3, x can equal negative 3, 3, negative 3, so 3 and negative 3 are the values that x cannot equal. Next thing I want, when I'm dealing with more than one term on either side, notice how I have two fractions here. One fraction here, but I have two fractions over here. If I'm dealing with more than one fraction on either side, I'm going to have to find my least common denominator. So that's what I'm going to do here. My least common denominator. What I like to do is just go from left to right, and I start putting down my factors. And if there's a repeat, I don't put it down. So I'm going to start with the x minus 3. Boom, put that down. Taking care of that one. Next one, x plus 3. I haven't written that one down yet. X plus 3. Now I move over here. Oop, I already put down an x minus 3, and I've already put down an x plus 3. So this right here is my LCD. What I'm going to do with that LCD, my least common denominator, is I'm going to multiply all of my numerators by that LCD. Alright, so let's see how that looks right now. I'm going to have x times x minus 3, x plus 3, all over x minus 3, plus 2x times x minus 3 times x plus 3, all over x plus 3, equals 18 times x minus 3 times x plus 3, all over x minus 3 times x plus 3. What you may notice is that we can actually cancel quite a few things now. When I look at this fraction here first, I know that I can cancel out my x minus 3's. When I look at this fraction, I know that I can cancel out my x plus 3's. And when I look at the last one, I can cancel out my x minus 3's and my x plus 3's. So I've essentially gotten rid of all my denominators. And I know we don't like fractions, so this is a way we can not have fractions. Our next step looks like this. X times x plus 3 plus 2x times x minus 3 equals 18. Our next move is to distribute. So we have x times x gives me x squared, x times 3 gives me 3x, plus 2x squared minus 6x equals 18. Combine my like terms and set it equal to 0. 3x squared, 3x and negative 6x gives me negative 3x. Subtract 18 from both sides, and that equals 0. Uh-oh, I have a leading coefficient of 3. Am I going to have to do rainbow method? Let's think about it. Ooh, I noticed that everything is divisible by 3. That will make my life a heck of a lot easier. So I'm going to divide everything by 3 on both sides. I'm going to have x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0, because 0 divided by 3 is still 0. Now I can factor it using the AM method. Let's bring it up here. I'm going to have x minus 3 and x plus 2 equal to 0. X minus 3, x plus 2. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Let's solve for x. We get x equals 3 and x equals negative 2. Now we need to make sure that these two values work, because there's times where the values don't work. If I plug 3 in, and I plug it in my first denominator, well, 3 minus 3 is 0. I can't divide by 0. That's undefined. That's not going to work. So I got to take this one off. But when I plug in negative 2 right here, I just get negative 5. I can divide by that. When I plug it in here, I get positive 1. I can divide by that. And over here, I get negative 5 times positive 1. That's just negative 5. And once again, I can divide by that. I can't divide by 0. That's the only red flag that we have. So x equaling 3 cannot be a solution, but x equaling -2 is a working solution.